he's in a whole lot of trouble now. And his ex-girlfriend, who was running Alameda, the hedge fund that appears to have lost the money to begin with, that he then covered from his crypto exchange, is whereabouts unknown. We don't know where this woman is, but she's said to be considering going to a country that doesn't have an extradition treaty with the United States. So that doesn't exactly scream I'm innocent. By the way, turns out she is good at math, even if she didn't appear to use it here. I guess she was majoring in math at Stanford. So she did take a math class at some point. In any event, it wasn't reflected in her work product from what I read. So the interim CEO is a guy named John Ray III. He's the guy who helped Enron through its Chapter 11 case. And he filed a document in the bankruptcy chapter, which is called the First Day Declaration, where you kind of explain what happened. Quote, never in my career have I seen such a complete failure of corporate controls, from compromised systems integrity and faulty regulatory oversight abroad, they're based in the Bahamas, to the concentration of control in the hands of a very small group of inexperienced, unsophisticated, and potentially compromised individuals. Potentially compromised, he says. This situation is unprecedented. Then he goes on to say, SBF, the guy running it, Sam Bankman-Fried, no longer speaks for this company, saying that he is continuing to make erratic and misleading public statements, and that numerous balance sheets created under SBF's watch, quote, are not to be trusted. Or wait, that's not a quote, but he's saying that they are not to be trusted. So this is quite the indictment against this guy, saying, I opened up the hood and it was an absolute bloodbath of a nightmare from an NC-17 movie that you would never show a minor. I mean, this is quite an indictment.
Yes, I think it is, Megyn. I mean, just to sort of call a spade at the outset, I just, in fairness, have to say that is basically what any newly appointed CEO in a messy bankruptcy situation comes in and says. That's the thing you want, because it's his responsibility now, to deal with this, right?
The situation is unprecedented.
But it's unprecedented.
He did Enron.
He went even further. So it's less his statement. I'm just judging the facts on their own merits. This is wild stuff. Now, the question on SBF's case, I think the moral of the story, and I can see right now we're not learning the moral of the story, is that anytime you have a captain of industry, and that is what SBF was, that is, right at the young age of 30, he was still a captain of his industry. Anytime that captain of industry calls for responsible regulation of their own sector, consumers and the public need to start raising their eyebrows and asking questions, okay? The kind of regulation he was advocating for was a catch-all form of regulation that included both centralized exchanges, like the one that he operated, as well as decentralized exchanges, which run according to totally different kinds of technological principles. And the key distinction, this is a little technical, Megyn, but in a centralized exchange, someone else takes custody of your assets. And so whether that's a crypto exchange or whether it's just an exchange for old school stocks and bonds, that means that someone can steal your assets. That's exactly what SBF did here. That's what happened in the MF Global disaster about a decade ago as well. But the problem that we're seeing, I predict we're going to see, we're already seeing early signs of it, is in the next few months, we're going to see calls for regulation that actually mirror what SBF himself was calling for, catch-all regulations. Ironically, the very kinds of regulations that might make decentralized exchanges, the kind that he was competing against and trying to make less competitive, actually less competitive. And so I think that the moral of the story is anytime you have a self-interested actor wearing the veneer of goody two-shoes, wanting to wear the veneer of virtue, there's a good chance that they're just acting out their self-interest. And that is what he did with his pro-regulatory lobbying. That is what he did with his donations to the Democratic Party. That is what he did with his ESG-isms, which he's now even admitting were woke shibboleths that he said to get people to like him. Sadly, it worked. But as a general investing public and just general consumers, we need to wake up to the reality that it's more often than not the guys who cultivate the good guy image. Take Winterkorn, who was actually Volkswagen's CEO, winning ESG awards before they found that Volkswagen was tampering with their emissions monitors. We learn this lesson time and again, and yet we don't actually act on the lessons that we learn. I hope this fraud was of such a big scale and so notable that we might actually learn the lesson this time around.
Well, yes, because I read your tweet last week, which I thought was so right on. Sam Bankman-Fried's ESG-friendly smokescreen wasn't just a matter of hypocrisy. It was an essential element of the fraud. That's exactly it. When people are running around talking about this altruism and they're going to give all the money away and they're saying they're checking all the right woke boxes or DEI boxes, it's a red flag. It's something to be alarmed about.
It's not just hypocritical. Exactly. It is how the game works. You pretend like you care about something other than profit and power precisely to gain more profit and power. I mean, this was the stuff of Woke Inc. I wrote a book about it about a little over a year ago. I did not expect to have to write a sequel. SBF actually provides the telltale story of a sequel, but this pattern repeats itself where the problem with virtue signaling is that at some point, signaling your virtue becomes more important than the act of actually being virtuous. And it would not, I would argue, Megyn, that it would not have gotten to this point. People would not have vested SBF with the trust and FTX with the trust that they did if it were not for the veneer of morality, the aura, the patina of morality that he happened to cultivate. Let that be a lesson that we should just want business leaders who are greedy, self-interested, money-grubbing actors to be greedy, self-interested, money-grubbing actors so that we can see it clearly and trust them or not accordingly, as opposed to the tripwire in the system. It's like sort of tampering with the smoke detector in the airplane lavatory. I said as I was traveling last week, and so you hear about this. It sort of is a tripwire in the system that prevents the otherwise smoke detector from going off in consumers' minds to say that this isn't someone that I'm going to unquestioningly trust. I hope that this lesson at least has a positive impact on the future.
Yeah, so much for Fortune calling him the next Warren Buffett, a cover they're now defending, saying, oh, we were excited to be there when he was, at his height. You know what? A little bit more kicking of the tires would have been appreciated. The writer's now saying, well, I asked for documents, but I guess I should have insisted on them. Yeah, you think? There is so much to love about fall, from the cooler temperatures to the changing leaves, pumpkin spiced everything. What better way to soak up the best of this season than with a Michael Phelps swim spa by Master Spas? A Michael Phelps swim spa combines the benefits of a pool with the therapy of a hot tub. It comes in a variety of sizes to complement almost any yard, even if it's a small one. Master Spas worked with Michael Phelps to develop an at-home training and fitness solution that you can use year-round in any season, even in the winter, believe it or not. As your fall calendar fills up, a Michael Phelps swim spa is the perfect place to spend time together as a family. Michael Phelps swim spas are 100% made in the USA by Master Spas, the world's largest swim spa manufacturer. It is energy efficient. You can use it all year long, as I mentioned. Go to masterspas.com, put in the promo code MK, and that will save you $1,000 on a Michael Phelps swim spa or $500 on a Master Spas hot tub. masterspas.com, promo code MK. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.